Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. In case you don't know, I am Lee Black. I am the host of Real Talk for Real Men, and we air live every Wednesday and Sunday. And so glad to have you joining us tonight. Hopefully, everybody is having a fantastic week. You know, each week brings its own challenges, but if we're above ground, we're all doing better than we should. So God bless you, and I thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, you can find my show on TFG TV, and you can subscribe to us on the YouTube platform as well as Facebook. So please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Still seeking viewers. And as part of the TFG TV platform, please like, subscribe, and share, and be a part of the full experience of TFG TV. There's a host of shows that whatever you want, we got it there. Sports, religion, politics, you know, his and hers talks, you name it. So welcome to my edition of Real Talk for Real Men. So again, thank you for being here. And going to say hello to Brother Kennard. Good to see you, my brother. I've also posted into the chat link, the comments section, the link for anybody and everybody who's welcome to come on live. We invite everybody to come on, share their opinions. So let's get this thing started. I'm going to bring in my co-host, Tasha, from Memphis, Tennessee. What's going on, McMac?
You know, not much. Making it through the work week. It's cold here. The temperature dropped here. And, you know, we got a lot of craziness going on. It is Memphis, so.
I get you. I get you. Well, sweetheart, I'm glad you're above ground. Irregardless, glad to see you. So, hey, we glad to have you. I'm going to bring in my brother from Texas, all the way in Texas, my brother Kenny. What's going on, brother Kenny?
What's going on, my peoples? What's up, Tasha? What's up, brother Black?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good on this end. How about yourself, my brother?
Oh man, like you said earlier, it's just a blessing to be above ground, brother.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all
Yes,
that
sir.
matters.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say on this moment, once again, happy belated birthday, my fellow Capricornian. What's going on?
Thank you, my good brother. Thank you, my good brother.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes,
if you want a goat, ladies, you better get you a Capricorn, man, because we the goats.
We are the goats. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get some other people to join us, but I'm not going to delay the inevitable. We're going to get this thing popping, you know, even if it's just the three of us. I always say, you know, where you have two or more gathered, I'm not saying that I'm God, but I'm an important godly device.
You did say you were God on the other show. You just said
you know, in certain situations.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Situations.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I wanted to talk about this tonight. And the title of tonight's show is When Love Is Not Enough. When Love Is Not Enough. When we talk about relationships, and that's the backbone of my show, the relationships between men and women, you know, from the very inception of this show, we talked about how men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So that is what my show is truly always about. What's going on, Brother Charles?
What's up, Charles? What up, brother?
You know what I'm saying? We love to have you on. Feel free to come on live, my brother. We love
cut
to
it
have
out.
You anytime.
Cut it out, Charles, with the bang bang. I know you're 49ers, Viva Packers. Cut it out.
Yes, indeed.
That's enough.
The sports world got turned upside down this past weekend.
This was a hell of a sports weekend, if I must say so.
Yes, it was. But, you know, we may have a little time to get into that then. I got my brother from North Carolina. What's going on, Brother Bert? How you doing?
Hey, y'all. What's going on? How y'all doing?
What's up, Bert? How you doing, brother?
Good to see you, my brother.
Good seeing you, too, as well.
Absolutely. Are you back to full strength and health? You're looking good.
Yes, I'm feeling a whole lot better.
Oh, you've been down. I didn't know that, brother.
Okay. Pneumonia.
Oh, wow.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Glad you're back, brother.
Thank you.
That's why I said if you're above, so many people I know are dealing with either pneumonia or COVID or something. And so that's why I made that comment about if we above ground, we're doing better than we should.
That's
You
right.
know,
Never
what's
lie.
going on,
Right.
Brother Lamar?
What's up, brother Lamar?
That's the man himself, Mr. TFG TV. Appreciate you popping in, my brother. So thank you for being here, everybody. Let's get this thing cracked off. I was talking about when love is not enough, you know, and we spend so much energy looking for the right person, you know, almost sometimes to our detriment, you know, and sometimes we link up, hook up, marry, connect, all these things, and then it's not quite what it should be. But being human beings, human nature is to try to make it work because we're programmed to tell ourselves that, well, no relationship is perfect. You know, every relationship has its faults. Even if there were a few red flags in there, maybe even a few indiscretions, I'm going to try to stick it out. You know, we're programmed to within ourselves, and especially women in a lot of cases, to be long suffering, to stay sometimes when it might be time to walk away. But even us as men, sometimes we ignore all of those things that go against the grain of why we're together. And speaking as somebody who divorced somebody who I genuinely loved, it was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. You know, when you add in the fact that there were religious implications there, because from a religious perspective, I didn't have a scriptural ground to separate. All I knew was I wasn't happy, but I still loved the person. So I was in such a precarious situation. Let's bring D in on this. What's going on, Lady D? How you doing, Lady
Hey
D?
guys, how are you?
All right.
Hey,
Doing
what's up,
good,
D?
baby. How are you? You looking good.
I'm good.
All right. All the way from Knoxville.
Ooh. Well,
So
thank
D,
you.
yeah, beautiful as always. And glad to have good. We missed you. We're talking about when you're in a relationship, whether it's committed to the point of marriage or whatever, but when love is not enough. And I was sharing with the viewers how the hardest decision I ever had to make, ever, was when I decided to opt out of my marriage. I still loved the person and I didn't have scriptural grounds to leave. All I knew at that time is we weren't happy. And so what do you
Mhm.
do when love is not enough? Because we think about splitting up a lot of times because you're fussing and fighting and all these things. But what if it's just not that? What if after you've been long suffering and you know you put in the time, the energy, but you just find that love is not enough? What do you do? Hey Shantae, how you doing, sweetheart?
Hey, what's up, Shantae?
So I want to ask you guys before I get into this, have any of you ever been in that situation where you did love the person? So this is not, we're not talking about a case where there was violence or whatever, even if there was indiscretion, but you still love the person, but you knew you wasn't happy. Anybody been in that situation? Brother
I
Kenny,
I
bring
can
a little light to this.
I can be transparent and honestly can relate to exactly what you were saying in your marriage. I generally still loved my ex, and I still care for her. I want the best for her, but I wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. Neither one of us wanted to confront and those feelings, and I guess we didn't want to hurt each other feelings, so we just kind of stayed in a situation that we probably stayed 10 years too long, you
Wow,
know,
wow, wow, wow,
because
wow.
we had children. Obviously we had children, 3 kids. They were small. We wanted to kind of stick it out for the kids, but I think we were both living like roommates more so than like a
Woo,
married couple. And
woo.
it's funny that you doing this topic. I actually posted something on my Facebook, I think yesterday, a
Wow.
meme that says you don't have to be miserable. Walking away isn't always quitting. Walking away may be your deliverance. I just posted
Mm.
that yesterday, and you talking about this show today.
I didn't see that, just so you know, I did not see that. So, you know, in actuality, this was the topic last Wednesday, and the show got canceled. So I came right back to it because I thought it was that important. You know, what about anybody else? Anybody ever been in that situation? You know, when love was not, you just wasn't happy.
Yeah, I can
Okay,
speak on it. My situation, as you all know, I got married young.
me too.
Me too.
And there was a lot more that went into that. That's another story for another day. But to tell you the truth, it was getting to a point where we knew we were kind of growing apart. And when when they say like your good days are start your bad days outweighing your good days, and
Yes,
you
indeed.
all of a sudden now you can't remember how many good days you had because it came to a point, to tell you the truth, where I knew when an argument was going to happen,
Okay.
where I
Okay.
just knew it. Like the communication had just broke down. It was nothing there. And I think the sticking point for me, just like with Brother Kenny, I had 2 kids. So you hear from the grandparents, you're hearing it from
Okay.
your parents. Oh, you
Right.
guys tough it out. Marriage isn't
Right.
always easy.
Right.
But you know in your gut
Mm-hmm.
that this thing is already past its duration time, and it's about that time. And
Absolutely.
there was one specific point where we got into it, and I saw my oldest, and he looked, and the sadness he had in his eyes, I was like, I cannot put them through this anymore.
I got you.
It's going
I
to
got
hurt
you.
them for a minute that we're not together anymore. But at the end of the day, I can't subject them through something like this every day or every other day. It's
I
just
got
not
you.
healthy. It's not good for them.
It really isn't.
So we had to make that hard decision. Like, it's just better for us just to go our separate ways.
And I want to ask the ladies something because, when I asked that initial question, maybe you haven't been in that situation. I think about 2 songs that are appropriate here. I think about the Gladys Knight song, Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye. And people don't listen to the words anymore, but that
Right.
song is so, so deep,
Mm-hmm.
And then let's transition all the way up to our era. R. Kelly, my favorite artist, talks about when a woman's fed up. So I want to ask the women, do you think as women, from your own personal experience and just in general with your female friends, do you think women stay too long even though they know they should walk away?
I definitely think so. I mean, I have friends that, some bums, and they just kind of stick in there like, I'm gonna help him work on himself. I'm gonna help him fix himself. I'm gonna change him. He gonna straighten up for me type
Yes, indeed.
situations, and it never works out. For me personally, I was in a situation where I was in love with somebody, but we just were on different pages, in our life. I wanted kids, they didn't, that type of thing. So, but I mean, people break up for different reasons, and I was still in love with the person, but it just, that was a deal breaker for me. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to get into that, the reasons, because Brother Kenny talked about the roommate situation and
mhm.
Brother Berg talked about kids. So, and for me, there was never any arguments and there weren't any kids. And so from that perspective, there were many people that believe, why are you leaving? So I want to get into what was the ultimate reason why I left. Tasha, you got anything to add?
No, I was just gonna say that as far as when love is not enough, I can't say that on my side. I felt where it wasn't love. I've been in relationships, yeah, way long past their expiration date, but not because of love, but
Gotcha.
just because I was, I didn't want to. I just didn't want to hurt that person. The last person I was with, I shouldn't have been dating him. I knew from the beginning, but I did it anyway.
I got you.
So,
I got
it's
you.
one of those things like you should have never even started. You should have just left it alone from the beginning.
I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. Which brings me to the big question, and how do you know when it's time to let go? My situation, again, there wasn't any arguing, there weren't any kids. We were financially stable. We were completely financially stable. We had the house, the cars, the trappings. We both made a really good salary at the time, and yet I was miserable, and she was miserable. And I was driving at night from Memphis to Nashville every night by myself, contemplating how do I do this? It was the hardest decision to how do you know when to let go? How do you know when to say, okay, I've had enough? So for you guys, is there a final straw, or how do you come to the conclusion that you know what? I gotta get out of this. I gotta let it go. How do you know?
I'll say for me a couple of things. That feeling of dread. You dread seeing that person. You don't want to talk to them. You just don't
Yeah.
enjoy their company. it's like this knot in your stomach. It's like, ugh, that person is going to be around. I really, not even wanting to put in that effort, the anxiety that's associated with it. For me, that's what I would say is when it's time to go. And I do think that women, I think that we do mentally check out of a relationship before we officially call it quits. I think
Wow.
we
I
got
agree
that
with that.
6 months at least before we finally just say, you
Wow.
know what, it's whatever.
Mhm.
Wow. 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 Wow.
I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody want to add anything to that? Knowing when it's time to let go.
You don't
For
want to
me,
be.
yeah,
Go ahead, brother.
for me is I know if you try to make all kind of excuses not to go home after work,
Ooh.
you going to the bar having drinks to
Ooh.
8:30, 9 o'clock after work, or you making up reasons to have to work, just to not be
Wow.
in the same
Wow.
presence of your significant other. Those things like that. That's when you know it's like you know, yo, okay, this ain't living. This is just going through the motions. So it's time to make it's time to make a
Wow.
change. But it's that's one of the most difficult things that people think divorce is easy. It's not easy, especially when you still love that person.
Hardest thing.
It's even harder when you still love that
I
person.
still love that hardest thing I've ever done in my life,
It
bar
is
none,
mine too. Yeah.
bar none. Brother Bert, you were gonna say?
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of what Brother Kenny was saying, because that's what I was going to say, but also I think I wrap myself more into my kids more than anything. Like I couldn't wait for an extracurricular activity. If it was basketball, if it was something football, I mean they were signed up for any and everything because I just didn't want to be at
Wow.
home. So I was using the kids. Now I'm thinking back on, I'm using them as a
Yeah.
shield.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just
Wow.
like, you know what, I'm out there. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Right.
karate, oh, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a way for me. There was like a buffer. It was just a way for me not to be around her.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really bad place. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's really messed up. And on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, you like what Kenny was saying, you finding ways. Oh, I'm gonna work overtime, or you want to hang out with the homies, knowing that you don't really want to be around the homies like that.
Do you really
But you just
don't?
finding a
Yeah.
way just not to come
Yep.
home
I
because you
got
don't
you.
want to come home to the
Mm-hmm.
same bull crap every
Wow.
time of
Wow. Wow.
arguing. Like I'm not an arguing type of person.
Right.
It messes with me. It affects me heavily. So like I can't just keep coming home and it's just constant bickering like that. So I was using the kids and anything else just to stay out of Dodge.
I'm gonna share with you guys because mine was the exact opposite. But I want to read Charles's comment. Charles say, "When my peace, progress, and paper are being interrupted,
It's
time
time
to
to go.
go.
Okay.
It's time to go."
Probably check.
That's a lot in that one
Yeah.
sentence,
Facts.
though. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's peace,
Facts.
Yeah.
progress, and paper. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's a lot in that sentence. For me, guys, at the time, I wasn't the lead black you guys know. I didn't go out. I didn't party. I was religious at the time. So coming home for me was all I knew. I was at that time trying to be a quote unquote family man to the T, having family study. Mine was the opposite, where there was too many moments of silence instead of arguing, because we never argued.
Mhm.
But it got to the point for us where we ran out of things to say. And when you're sitting in the same room with each other for hours on end and trying to figure out what to say, that for me was excruciating, because all that was going through my head was, this is not what marriage should be.
Mhm.
And again, I unequivocally still love the person, but I couldn't figure out in that instance, it felt like everything I was doing was making it worse. If I talked, if I and so it even started affecting the intimacy. We went through the act of it.
Mm.
We went through the mechanics of it, but the
Mm-hmm.
intimacy wasn't there anymore. And so for me, I couldn't stay out of my own head. I absolutely couldn't stay out of my own head. Uh, Darcel or Tasha, you want to add anything?
For me, I would say, for me, I know it's time to go when everything about him annoys me. The way you breathe, The way you eat, the way you chew, everything. You just
Damn.
looking at him, looking at him like, ugh. It's like,
Wow. That's
Damn.
that R. Kelly thing right
Yeah,
there.
that
When
really
a
is.
woman's fed up, that's the R. Kelly part right there. Jenny
Damn.
said, for me, it's when I start to question who I am. When
Mm.
that person makes me not makes me like I'm not good enough.
Mm.
Oh my God! Like making it makes me feel like she's not good enough, and
Mhm.
that's deep. That if somebody could impact your own self-worth,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
deep right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Charles, my brother, I was religious, believe it or not, to the T. So let's cut to the chase. How it happens? What do you do? So when you get to that point where whatever that case is, your progress, your peace, your paper, your sanity, your self-worth, the way he chews and walks, pisses you off, whatever, when you get to that place that, okay, you finally make the decision, let's talk about some constructive ways, though, when love is not enough. You know what I'm saying? And how we can do this, because this is for people out there, if you're listening and you find yourself in any of these situations, because the hardest thing to do could be to walk away. So I'm just going to lay out some constructive ways that maybe you need to kind of put yourself under the microscope. So the first one, we're going to talk about some do's and some don'ts. Do put yourself in their position. Now, what do we mean by that when we say put yourself in their position? And at the time when I split, I didn't have the maturity to know what I was doing. So I did it all wrong. I can tell you right now. So here we are now in retrospect. So I'm hoping this can help somebody do it better than I did it, because I took the coward's way out. And I'll tell you guys about that in a second. But when we're talking about putting yourself in their position, thinking about what you're going to say, the talk ahead of time to avoid additional pain. I'm going to go back to that song when neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. So putting yourself in that other person's position, be honest about what questions you should ask and what they anticipate the response. Because if you do that and putting yourself in their place, maybe that can help you do it with a lot more maturity and love. Again, if you still love the person. So
Mm.
what do you guys think about that, about putting yourself in that other person's position?
I would say for me, if we about to break up, I don't really care how you feel. I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest. I
Okay.
just, I think that, I mean, if I still have love for the person, then that's a totally different situation.
Mm.
Well,
Oh,
that's what we're
okay.
talking
Okay.
about.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you just try to let them down easy. You try to think about if the shoe was on the other foot and they were breaking up with you. I mean, because if it's truly somebody you still love, even though it's gonna hurt, you just want it to hurt less. You don't want to put them through too much pain. Just explain the reasons why it's not working out. And say, we can still be friends if you like. If you don't, I understand. And y'all go y'all separate ways.
Absolutely. Great,
Hmm.
great advice. Anybody want to add something to that in terms of putting yourself in their position?
I think just be an adult. Just be mature about it. Just be honest and just sit down and just have a honest conversation. Obviously, choose your words wisely, because again, if you were in that other person's position, think about how you would feel, especially if you're the one initiating the breakup.
Hmm.
And in my situation, I was the one initiated the divorce, so I definitely was very honest and open, and very, like I say, I loved her, so I wasn't going to say anything hurtful to her. We just had a conversation and I just laid it out, and I was like, you know you have a right to feel how you feel, but I know you're not happy either. And she
Right.
agreed with me. So just be open and honest, and you know just respect that person if you still love them. Now if if it's y'all breaking up and there's no love there, then I mean, obviously it doesn't matter how they feel. You do what
Absolutely.
you do. So
Absolutely. And that tends to be what we do,
mhm.
you know. But even saying that, I want everybody to think about this, whether on the panel and just in general. If somebody's broken up with you, because now we live in an age where we're in the digital age.
Yeah.
People break up
Hmm.
via text or whatnot.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
Yep.
want you to think about what you just said now. So if you find out somebody's cheating, you find out via text or social media, they didn't give a damn about you really anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they
Yeah.
didn't care how you found out about it. So
Mhm.
you got to put that, into perspective when you think about that, because something you said, Kenny, hit home with me. What's going on, Hannah?
What's up,
How you doing,
Sean?
sweetheart?
Hey, Hannah.
You talked about being mature about it. I'm gonna share again. I was young, like you, brother Bert. I got married too young.
I did too.
I was
Yeah.
trying to figure this shit out along the way, and by the time it hit the critical stage, number one, I didn't have the resources in terms of my own maturity to fall back on. I didn't have the resources of nobody I knew to go to give me good advice. And so what did I do? I did it the selfish way. I only thought about me. Like you, Brother Kenny, I initiated it. And I had rehearsed it so many times. Looking back on it now, it was a horrible way to do it, because I went into not only initiating it, I left her no room to respond even. I
Mm.
had already made the decision. This is happening. It's happening now. Um, when I finish this conversation, two of us won't be living in this house.
Oh wow.
And I know that sounds horrible. And at the time I thought I did it with such love. Looking back on it, you laugh at D, but my thing was, okay, this was me at the end. So, do you want to stay here or do you want to call your friend? And so I wasn't giving
Wow.
her no time to
Right.
even process
Yeah.
it. Because I'm
Damn.
gonna tell you what was going on up here. I was thinking about it like a band-aid. Just pull it all off at one time and get it over with. Now, here's what she found out later, because we talked about this. I did it so roughly because if I didn't pull it off like a band-aid, I wouldn't have had the strength to go through with it.
Mm.
I needed her to go so I could be by myself, so I could be in my own misery and pain and cry like a baby about it.
Mm.
And the only way I was going to be able to do that is if I get her out of the house as quickly as I could. And I'm thinking about this now. This all happened within a 30-40 minute period. Let's sit down and talk. This is the decision I've come to. Bam, boom, bam. Call your friend, and it's done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can I,
Shoot,
can I
go
say
ahead.
that? I just wanted to say, for me, whenever I, see the do you put yourself in their position, I think
Mhm.
about it in terms of, are they on the same page? Do they sense any issue? Do they know that there's any
Ooh.
problem?
Right.
Ooh.
Are they trying? Have you had those conversations? Are they making an effort? Have you exhausted all of those possibilities?
Ooh.
Because if they don't know, it's kind of like, well, I didn't know there was an issue.
Yeah.
Ah, good point.
Ooh. It
Good
chills up my
point.
spine when you brought that up, because I felt like I had tried enough. So again, the selfishness in me, I'm gonna say again, I didn't know enough back then to let's go talk to somebody about this. Let's sit down. And my thing was at that point, look, this is not working out. You gotta remember, at this time for me, I had never failed at anything in my life. And now the most important thing I ever had done, I was failing at it. So I didn't know how to deal with failure. And so you're right. She may have felt like, well, can we talk? I didn't give her a chance to, well, is
Right.
it working out? And can we talk about it?
Can we get counseling or anything like that?
I never gave her
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
Did they know it was even at that point?
No,
The
no,
waiting
I
part,
know
that's the
this
other thing
now.
too you have
I
to
know this
consider.
now, but
So
I'm
so
telling you,
so you blindsided her with it. Is that what you're saying?
knowing that now, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Let me be clear. Imagine, without taking you through the whole situation, imagine she's getting ready to go to my, so well, I don't want to say her name. Baby, stop, come back. We need to talk about something. She says, okay, have a seat. And that was it.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's tough. That's
how
rough, man.
I tell people I
Yeah.
took the coward's way out. I did not have the maturity to do it the right way. And I always regretted that, because I even live with the idea now of what if.
Right.
What if, because this was and is a good woman, a very good woman, good wife, but I didn't have the maturity and the tools to deal with it at the time, and it's sad. Charles says, just tell them, look, I'm sorry, your sister look better than you.
Oh
You know,
shit.
Man, you
you
trying to
know,
get somebody shot. Come on, Charles. Stop
man,
it.
Charles, what's going on, Candace?
What's up, family? What's up, Candace?
No, Charles,
No, we're not
I
doing
still
that, brother.
deeply love this woman.
Yeah.
I still deeply love this woman.
No.
And I'll add this last part before I go into the next part. I also knew it was time to pull a trigger, as I call it, before we started disrespecting the marriage.
Mm,
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
gotcha. Yeah.
So that was my thing. That, man, I could go deeper than that, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Mhm.
So yeah, do put yourself in their position. Now, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to assign blame. You don't want to assign. Why do you think that's important? Now again, D, we're not talking about when his chewing pisses you off and you can't stay the sight of him, because at that point it is all your fault. You know what I'm saying? But like, what if there's genuinely still some feelings there, some love, and but this is unhealthy. Why is it important, you think, not to assign blame? Anybody?
Hmm.
I think because if you blame the person, they're going to carry that to all the relationships after
That's
you.
what I was just
They're
getting ready to
always
say.
going to think that it was their fault. They're always going to think that they did something wrong, and they're going to think that. And people take it personal, so they're not going to take it as a relationship issue. They're going to take it as a personal issue, And sometimes you don't know how to fix when somebody tells you, well, you didn't love me enough. Well, I thought I was giving you all the love I had. How am I supposed to fix that?
Mm-hmm. That's on point, D. Yeah.
It's a cop out. It's like a little bit of a cop out. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be all the way right. You're not gonna be all the way wrong. You know what I mean? Everybody got a little role to play in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
Absolutely.
it's a
Right.
cop out, man. I'd rather just have like a clean break. Hey, listen, I know I wasn't perfect, neither was you. We talk about it, whatever. Then we got to get the hell up out of here before something else come forth.
And I think you're right, brother Burton. You can't be nitpicky and say this is what you weren't doing. You didn't do this. You remember when you didn't do this? Oh, yeah. I just think at that point you're doing more harm than good, because I always say hurt people hurt people. So a lot of times when you do
Right.
things out of hurt, you ended up doing that same thing and hurting other people and hurting that person that really, just accept own your position in the demise. Just say, you know what? Yeah, I know I could have did this a little better too. So it ain't all you. So just own your part of the relationship. Like Bert said, it was two people in the relationship, not just one.
Facts.
Absolutely. Tasha, you have a thought?
I do. I would say this is probably an important part, especially in 2022, for your individual safety. People are far more volatile and violent now. I would
hadn't
just say
considered
this
that.
for your own safety.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not going to resolve anything by tearing that person down in that moment, especially if you're hoping to have a future later on as a friendship. Just agree to disagree on what happened, on the specifics of it, and maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, we can reevaluate it. But at this time, let's just push that door up a little bit. Let's just push it up, and it's just time for us to go our separate ways.
I really love that.
I didn't think about the violence.
I did not think about that,
Me neither.
especially being a man.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, Tasha. Which that's going to tie into the next one so well, but I did not even consider that. And you're right. How many times right now we turn on the news because a lot of men, I can't have her.
Right. Nobody
Bruh.
else. Nobody.
You see
Yeah.
the guy that burned up,
Right.
like he just burned up his wife and kids. He poured like gasoline on him and lit, like, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And where this used to be a one-off, it happens a lot now.
Yeah.
It really does happen a lot. Tasha, damn, I can't believe.
Yeah,
I wasn't even
I wasn't
thinking.
thinking about that.
Think about it on the other side, where we are seeing women who will attack that man and then put her family on him to make it seem like it was, that he had, that he was going to
This is
get
true.
back at her.
This is true.
So you have to consider it both
This is
ways.
true.
It doesn't pay to just have that conversation anymore, just to get mad at each other. Just look,
Yeah.
this is
This is
Yeah.
true, and
That's
to
true.
show you, I thank you for sharing this with me because that's how much of a Neanderthal I still am because I'm still walking around here as if I wish a bitch would try to come at me. I think about the football player where his wife knocked his tooth out.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
That happened. That happened in Vegas. Yeah,
yeah,
last year.
this is
Yeah.
current. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His wife
yeah, this
knocked
is
his tooth
real.
out. Yeah.
Who?
there was,
Tasha.
there was
Dwayne
another
Haskins,
story.
backup quarterback for Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
There was
this is
another.
recent.
There was another story in the news where a man saw his wife walking with another man,
Uh-huh.
and they decided, walking out of the apartment, he caught up to his wife and the dude. They get in the car to discuss this. I don't know why they all got in the car together.
Yeah.
He started the side dude started attacking the husband, was beating him down. The wife tells him to kill him because he's going to retaliate. The wife is telling the side dude to kill her husband because of that. I don't know if that happened here or something, but
When I come to the when I come to the next one, you're gonna see just how the point you made really fitting into what you're
Damn.
saying. You know, but I think, but my God, thank you for bringing that all up because at the end of the day, what do you gain from assigning blame? And I like that somebody talked about the maturity aspect, and it's for your own sanity as well. Because once you make this decision that it's time to get out, to me, it's too late to now start talking about who's to blame. What will you accomplish by rehashing? You remember when you did this? Oh, and I remember. It's
Right.
not necessary. Once you've
Right.
come to that decision and made peace with it, there's no need to assign blame.
Right.
At that point, be an adult about it. And even if it's not for the other person, for your own sanity, that you know what, this is just not working out. I think we will be much better. Tush, you talked about maybe 6 months down the road. Hey, I still love you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not walking away from all of you, but us together is not working. So we need to separate for my own sanity, you know, so that we can be better people. So that's where, you know, the sign and blame could really, you know, be the best served if you keep it adult, keep it mature. Which Tasha, now to your point, the next point really highlights that. It says, do put thought into the location.
Yes.
So when you brought up about why the person would get in a car, now that's just a damn fool for some reason. But people do foolish things under the guise of still, I don't know if they're trying to work it out or things like that. But yes, the location is very, very important. I can say that. Now, the one thing I did do right, I'll go first on this one, is that I did it with just she and I at home. So there was no room, there was no embarrassment, you know, because how many times we see people break up. I talked about it at the beginning in 2022. Who wants to find out via social media or text message? That really will get a bitch choked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a violent man.
Up.
You know what I'm saying?
You gonna shake the hell out of her?
That really will. You know what I'm saying? If I, you know, we going along and all of a sudden you do me a certain way, with me, respect is it's a very big thing with me with respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it matters, you know, what location, physical or virtual, it matters. You know, to me, you owe me that. You owe me that. You know what I'm saying? And in my case, because I still love the person, I wasn't going to do it through my family. You know, I didn't write a letter. You know, I owed her, you know, at least that between she and I. You know, so what do you guys think about this in terms of putting thought into the location?
I think it could help maybe to ease the burden, but if somebody's gonna clown, they're gonna clown no matter where you do
Wherever.
it.
Yeah.
But Tasha, wouldn't that still matter then? because I would much rather them to clown in private than in public. Now if they really clown, breaking shit at your own house, I know what you're saying, but I would rather that if you're gonna clown in private, I might could still get a few licks in and and we both gonna go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
No, I would say you really should consider who you're trying to break up with,
Right.
because if it's someone who maybe, that you just don't know, it may be best just to tell them over the phone a state away after you done moved all your stuff. Look, this ain't gonna work. We done. Or after you done already moved, this just we just don't need to be together.
Yeah.
Do it while they in jail and they call you to bail them out. Do that. This ain't gonna work.
That will get you killed. That will get you killed. That will get you killed. I think about the movie Baby Boy. You break up with that man while he in jail. He coming to see you.
He coming. Yeah, Rodney coming to see you on his bicycle. He coming on his bicycle to see your ass.
I'm talking about moving. I'm saying
okay.
Oh, okay. You talk. Okay.
Changing the phone number, all that. Just that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely location. Definitely, you have to think about that. And I would rather do it in person at home, and I would have to take her. I would like, can I keep your cell phone in my pocket, because social media now they gonna go live, and so we ain't trying to. You ain't getting ready to go live when we get ready to do this on your social media. Have me looking like a fool, cloud and everything. I'm just serious. You see it all now on social media.
Yes, you do.
So you never know. So I'll just say, hey, let me hold you. I'm gonna put our phones over here, and we're gonna talk this thing out, and then we'll get our phones once we're done.
I didn't even consider that. How attached we are to our phones and things. I hadn't even considered that, Brother Kenny. I really haven't. Hannah says, I think location helps as far as safety reasons as well. Tasha, you talked about that. If you know that they're a little thrown off and it gets physical, do it in public.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. That person is less likely to get violent, I would imagine.
I would hope so.
That's what I'm saying,
Let's just break them at the police station. Let's just go on break them right here.
Right.
I read something. It was a while ago that
I know that's right, honey. No, you ain't getting ready to go viral off of my divorce.
That's right. No, and we have to consider this shit now. D, go ahead.
I was going to say, I read something a while ago, and it said, like, statistically speaking, the most dangerous time for a woman in a relationship is when she tries to leave. So if you know that a man is going to be violent, that would be a good time to do it over text or over call or, social media.
Good
and
point.
Some people, when they crazy abusive, it don't matter if you're in public. We didn't say plenty of videos, I'm sure all of us, of dudes beating the crap out of women in public, and everybody's videotaping it. So now it doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah.
You're right. Hannah said the same thing. I guess.
You know what, Black? You know what? I mean,
that's sad though.
In a perfect world, if you're talking about somebody that you know is volatile, that's good. But what about them quiet assassins?
Right.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. Like, do you just chalk it up, like whether you quiet or whether you could be a little volatile? Do you just take them out to somewhere public so at least you got some backup per se?
Yeah.
Or do you run that chance? Because you got some people that flip on you, like, I ain't know about this side. They just flip on you in a minute.
You're right.
Beat your ass.
You are right. You are right. Which that's why it says put thought into the location. The wisdom here is think it through. You should know that person well enough then and anticipate what could happen. Anybody who knows me, Tasha knows and Darrison knows about me. I always talk about the worst case scenario. Any decision I'm always thinking, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? That way, if I plan for the worst, I'm ready for that. So if anything falls short of that, you can deal with it even more. But in this case, what could happen? Let me think. What could happen if I take her out? Will she do this? And like you said, Brother Kenny, put the thought into it that let's put our phones down. You know what I'm saying? So think it through enough that I'm anticipating what possibly could happen. If I need to make a quick exit, if she is trying to make this go viral, you know what I'm saying? She snatches her phone. You couldn't fuck anyway, you little dick. Blah blah blah. make your exit, quick. You need to be anticipate this. It be you have to think this thing through. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you really do. You really do.
I'm telling you, Hannah says break up with them on a mama porch.
No, some of them
That
mamas
might not be a good
Nah,
idea, Hannah.
that probably ain't no good idea
Hannah,
at
that might not
all.
be a good
mamas
idea.
will beat you down too. Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
mamas will beat you down
Mama love
too.
her son.
Yeah,
Mama love
mama
her
gonna go
son,
off. Yeah,
and he
yeah,
ain't done no wrong.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
careful
mama.
on that one. Be careful
Mm.
on that one, sweetheart. All right, let's go to the next one. And this one is pretty simple, but I think it's valuable. Why do you think we say, knowing when it's time to leave, don't lie? Why is it important not to lie? If you ending it, why would we say don't lie?
we
What do
say
you
don't
mean?
lie, but people do. I
People
mean,
do, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying in retrospect. But why do you think that's important?
well,
Mm.
because it's not going to help anything. I still, I think about just in that moment having that conversation. What is it going to solve? How is it going to benefit you to try to debate and lie, flat out lie about what happened? It's only going to add more to that situation. It's not going to help you in the future. It may leave those unresolved questions open, those lingering questions, which can cause you to go back for something else. It doesn't help them going forward either, because like Deep pointed out earlier, it could lead to them having a complex, and then they bring that baggage into their next relationship. It doesn't make any sense. At that point, you're breaking up. You're not going to be together. So there should not be anything left, unknown. Just let it all out there.
Mm.
Lie if he or she is crazy.
Yeah.
You try
Good
to get out
advice.
there with your
Right,
life,
Good advice.
but everything being equal, ain't no
Good
need to
advice.
lie. It's like
Good
it's like a man
right.
on the deathbed telling a lie for what? You out of here? You checking out? You about to be free? So it's like, nah, just be straight up. Say what you gotta say, and just keep it moving. But again, public service announcement: if they are crazy, lie and get your ass out of Dodge.
Good advice.
Right, right.
Absolute good advice. I'm gonna
You know,
show you the. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
uh,
brother Kenny.
I would say just keep it generic. If you really don't want to tell them the truth, just say irreconcilable differences is the reason we're splitting up, and leave it at that.
So I'm glad you went
Sometimes
right
you
where I
don't
wanted you to go.
sometimes you don't need I mean, sometimes do
Yeah.
I really want a reason for why you want to move on? Sometimes I don't need to know.
I
If
do
the
too.
reason is you don't want to be with me, that's all the information I need. Keep it moving. I keep it moving.
I feel
I'm
like women do want a reason though.
Yeah, and I
I
agree. I
agree.
think I
Yeah.
think I think women do need that.
Yeah.
But for men, I think we could care less. If you tell us that you don't want me no more, I'm not gonna sit there and
I'm
ask you why
y'all
and do
y'all
all
went
that.
so right where I wanted y'all to go. Y'all went so right where I wanted
Because
y'all
I'm
to go.
like I'm like I don't want to keep nobody that don't want to be kept, especially with
Right.
me. So
Thank you.
okay,
Thank you
I'm
for saying
gone.
that. Thank you for
Peace.
saying that. Because I'm gonna tell my little short story. You're right, brother Kenny. The pride of being a man is I think about I always like give references, visual references. Think about one of my favorite episodes of the Martin Show. Early episode. It's
All of
probably
them my
like
favorite.
episode maybe 3. I'm talking about very beginning. Remember when he had said something bad about Gino on the radio, and
Yeah.
she showed up with
Yeah.
Pam and wanted him to apologize,
Yeah.
and he was stomping everything. And yeah, you get in this room, and then the scene in the bedroom where he goes, all right, Gina, step.
Yeah.
And she goes for the door.
Yeah.
I bring that up for a reason. As a man, we're programmed that, you know what? Hey, you don't want to be with me? Go. Hey, go, step, go be with somebody else. And I told myself this because my thing was when I looked around, I knew people who was physically beating their wives. I knew people who were cheating on their wives. I knew men who wasn't stable and being a good husband and attentive, telling their wife they loved them. And these bitches were sticking with this dude. And I'm thinking, you got all of this, and it didn't seem like I didn't feel appreciated. So my thing was, you know what? I got to get out of this, and I don't need a reason. I just know I'm not happy, but But I can tell you this, that one thing, not resolving it, not knowing, it created Black.
Mm.
That's how
Oh,
Black got created.
Mm.
Being married, I was ready. But not knowing danced in my head. I'm going to say again, I couldn't resolve. All was in my head was, why did my marriage fail? And again, I'm looking at other people. And for me, I set out on a mission at that point to punish every woman I came in contact with.
Mm.
That's how I created the alter ego of Black, because now I'm not going to be a good dude. I'm not going to be nice and attentive. I'm going to be everything opposite of that. And so when I think about it now, I did do the whole, it's not you, it's me. I didn't tell her the truth.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it screwed her up for a while.
Right.
Mhm.
And without saying her name, to my knowledge now, it could be even more, but last count, she's on husband number 3.
Oh wow.
Oh shit.
Looking
Mhm.
for what we had. Because what hurt her was for her not knowing what did I do wrong, because from her perspective too, I thought we had it all. And again, I've already told you, I didn't even give her a chance for us to work it through. It just, I cut it off. So when I think about this one, about not lying, it's important. And as an older man now, D, I'm like you as women. I want to know. Tell me,
Yeah.
because now you know what, I can deal with it.
Mhm.
And on top of that, I hope you feel like you owe me that. If I'm honest with you throughout the whole thing, as much as two people can be honest, there are going to be little lies here and there,
Mhm.
but
Right.
as much as two people can, I hope that you owe that to me if you're unhappy, because everybody know my little 3 rules. Don't give me nothing, I won't give you nothing. Don't get caught. And if you're going to fuck somebody, at least fuck somebody on my level. So when you reach a point where you feel like this is not working, I can handle the truth from a big boy. Tell me what it is. You know what, Lee? Your dick just ain't big enough. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Well, yeah. You let me jump up and down on you, so it is what it
Thank
is.
you, because I'm a big enough boy at this stage. It's been nice, and it's been in your head until soft, small, however it was. Thank you for the service.
But I will say this: I think men, when we love harder than women, and when it comes to breaking up, I think men we
Okay.
take a breakup harder
Okay.
when it's a woman
Yeah.
that we truly love than women.
Yes. Yes.
It take us a little bit more time to
Yes.
move
Yes.
on and
That's
heal.
why I
I'll
brought
be
up the
honest.
Martin incident,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
pretend we don't,
You're right, but we really do.
but we really, really do.
Oh yeah, we
If we
front the
love,
game
if we
heavy.
love the
We front the
person.
game heavy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. If we love the person. All right, let's go to another do. Do set boundaries. Why do you think it's important to set boundaries when you know that love is not enough and it's time to say goodbye? Why set boundaries?
so then you know exactly where you stand. Do not contact me. This is not your
Oh,
friend. This
Don't come
is
to my
just,
job.
don't come to my job. Don't call my mother. Don't call my
Yeah.
father. Do not come by
Oh
my house.
shit.
Damn,
It's important
Tasha
for,
got a laundry list. Good
Right.
Lord.
I'm telling you.
God damn.
no, I'm just saying, like, I think it is
It's
important
true.
to
But it's
set that
true.
Mhm.
to, just to help with the healing process and to avoid those awkward encounters. Because if you don't say this, you leave it open to where, okay, well, you don't even know if you're even really broken up. So I still feel
Mhm.
like I have certain access to you. I can still, I have the privilege. So now when I am trying to get back out there, here you come just popping up at my house. And now
Oh
I have to
shit.
have this awkward encounter. So
Anybody else want to go? Because I got a big one on this one. I got a big one on this one about
Me
setting
too.
boundaries. Go ahead. I got a big one on
No,
this one.
I was gonna say, like, all right, I can see if you, but what if it's like something on a marriage level? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you wind up being married to the family, and they love you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's tough.
There's situations where, you know what I mean, the family is
Yeah,
still in
yeah,
contact with the
yeah,
ex,
yeah,
even though they don't want shit to do with the other. It's just that they
yeah.
have that strong bond with, with his family or her family. You know what I mean? But they still
Yeah,
Absolutely.
look at you in a
that's
certain way. So
tough.
that's kind of rough. I mean, don't fucking get in contact with me. But I mean, if you talking to the peeps and all that, I mean, just don't show the fuck up. That's all. I mean, but
That's
other
right.
than that, I mean, I
No,
can't
you.
stop
I
that
was
because that's
gonna
a personal
say,
relationship they have with others.
if you
Now, I can't
divorce
stop my
me, you
people because my
divorcing my
people,
whole.
if they love her or whatever, if
Listen
they
to what
love
she's
him or
saying.
whatever the case might be, I can't stop that shit. They're gonna
I
still
was
probably
gonna
talk to
say,
him on the low.
if you divorce me, you divorcing my whole family and all
Damn.
our friends.
That's not
Damn.
realistic, though.
It's a
That's not
no.
Damn.
realistic.
But
It's
you know
not
what?
because
That
everybody still
Duracell,
has
that
that
you
connection and
right, but
shit.
it does.
Like,
I'll be honest
I
with
had
you, it
Damn,
don't
divorced
work
D.
like
from
that
my ex for
sometimes.
like damn near 18 years, but her people will say something to me, whether it's nephews, nieces, or whatever. I mean, you can't help that.
So D, I got a question for you on this one, and I'm gonna get to my big one. So if the
Yeah.
person is breaking up with you, divorcing you, and they divorce your whole family, would you feel betrayed if your sister still has a relationship with your ex?
Yes, I would. Cause you're my sister. I feel like you need to be on my side. And why y'all talking? Because most of the conversation y'all should be talking about me. So if we not together, y'all ain't got nothing else to talk
I'm
about.
just asking. That's why I'm asking. Boundaries,
I feel like
boundaries. But I got
But
go ahead, Tasha.
I was gonna say because I was, my mom was just here with my brother, my older brother, and we went to my grandmother's house. So that's my dad's mom,
Right.
and we sat over there. But now my grandmother loves my mother, has always loved my mother. She still calls her,
How does your how
her
does your dad
daughter-in-law.
feel about their relationship?
I think that my dad feels, I think he feels some type of way because I did like call him. I think he may feel some type of way because my brother didn't go see him. And I don't know. And my grandmother was calling everybody and saying, "Oh, Heather's over here. Come."
Oh
My
wow!
mom moved from Memphis in '93. She hasn't been back since then. So that was my first time. Like that was her first time seeing my grandmother in person
Okay.
since then. So she
Yeah.
called my
That's what's up.
uncle, she called my aunt, she called my cousins. Come see Heather.
But if I'm your dad, that could be
I
Right.
think he
You gonna
I
feel
think
some
he
type of
may
way.
have felt some type of way. I don't know about my
Yeah.
stepmom. I
Yeah.
haven't seen her, but
ooh. Oh, I
yeah,
didn't think
That,
about that. I didn't think about the
that's
Yeah.
new
what
wife.
that's why I said, whoa, the new wife. I mean,
Yeah.
like, how the new wife feel about the stepmom? Your
Right.
stepmom feel about
I
that?
have to be around them to get like a good feel for it. But like I said, I did talk to my dad, and he did kind of, he would never be just outright mean to me,
Right,
but
right, right.
he did
It's
kind
touchy.
of, maybe he wanted to ask like a
It's
little bit
touchy.
more.
It's a touchy
Yeah.
situation.
So it
Which,
is.
which I'm gonna bring up one even more touchy. We're talking about boundaries. What about breaking up and continuing to have sex with the person?
I don't think there's
Oh,
anything
I
wrong with
see you
that.
shaking your head. I see you shaking your head.
XX.
But I'm telling you,
That's a
it's
recipe for disaster. That's
thank
all I
you.
would
Right.
say.
You ain't never
That's
That
a
lied.
happens.
recipe for
But that
disaster.
happens
It
because
does
wait a
all the
minute,
time.
we ain't together. But because how many times, and I've heard this from my female friends too many times, they need that thing tickled. And guess what? Well, I don't want to go out and get some strange.
Yeah,
So I, he
she gonna
was
get.
good in bed.
Yeah,
Is that not violating the boundaries? We can't be together, but I can knock you down.
that's
Yeah, no,
yeah.
because if mentally you're not here anymore and you're not here, she has a whole different
Really,
mind of her
really,
own. She
really,
don't even
see,
communicate the way she's supposed to be communicating.
and that will get you killed. That
Yeah,
will get you
thank you.
choked.
Thank you.
Because it can send the wrong message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that gets your
But I'm gonna
yeah.
emotions
flip
all
it.
fucked up,
Right,
dude.
exactly. For
But I'm gonna
real.
flip it. I'm gonna flip it on the man's side. Me and my wife has split, and we have been separated and divorced for over a year. She got in some trouble, and I end up getting her from 201 Poplar. If you ain't never been to Memphis, 201 Poplar is a motherfucker.
Club 201.
What did you say?
that 201 Poplar, that's the jail there.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the jail there. Their motto is, we're gonna try to make this the most miserable experience you ever had in your life.
Well, goddamn.
And they live up to it. 201 Poplar. So she was shook. And I picked her up, and she was so shook she didn't want to go home. She stayed with me. And guess what happened?
Y'all bugging.
Y'all buck tussle.
And so now, after a week of fucking, she thought this was indication we're getting back
Y'all was
together.
getting back together.
Oh shit.
Yep.
And you picked her up and everything, dog.
Within a week, things started being moved back into the house.
Oh. Yeah.
And I was in a horrible situation because at this stage, I was completely happy being single, and I was black at this time. You know, now I wasn't getting the same old cookies. I was the cookie monster out there, you know. So shit, you know.
Did you not set your boundary and just say, look?
I did not.
Oh, shit.
I did not.
Black, you ain't shit.
I'm giving it to y'all real, you know. And so guess what had to happen? You want to talk about hard? I had to have a conversation again that this is not happening. And I hated myself for that. I absolutely hated myself for that because I knew I led this situation on. Oh, and in case y'all wondering, was the only time I did that? No. You know,
I'm not shocked at all that was the only time you did that.
I'm just saying, you know, no, that wasn't the only time. Older now, wiser now. I've lived by that motto now. All pussy ain't good pussy. Sometimes just say no. Sometimes just say no. That brings us to the last one. Don't assume all responsibility for the breakup. All right. What do y'all think about that? Because we've already established now we need to be honest, set the location, you know, put some thought into it, all those good things. But at the same time, it's telling you, don't assume all the responsibility. Why is that important?
You might be letting them off the hook.
Yeah.
Shit, they might be wrong on a lot of shit. So no, like don't accept everything. Like, damn. It can't be all you.
Absolutely. Anybody want to add something before I say something?
Me personally, if we at that point, I'll take the hit. I'll take the loss. Me
Really,
personally,
brother.
if it's to keep the peace, if it's giving me my peace, and I'm walking away with a clean slate, and I know what's up, I know what's up. Yeah, I'll take the hit forward. I'm just me because I know I'm walking away.
Okay.
I got you.
Karma, karma is undefeated anyway. So
True.
Oh shit.
True that.
I would,
Good point.
Now, to your point, I would just say that you do need to, it's not realistic that it's going to be all on one person, and to unleash that crazy onto the next person. No, you need to know that there are some things that you need to work on too.
Yeah, that's true,
Tasha.
Tasha. That's true. That's true. But then I'll be like, I'll let the next person deal with it. Hey, that's on them.
That's why we got relationships the way we are now. That's why
I know. Like I said earlier, hurt people.
That's right. I'll share this with you guys. Like you, Brother Kenny, this is why this is my brother. We two Capricorns. The Capricorn in me, I can easily take all the blame, and I did. I gladly welcome her family, my family, her friends, my friends, believing that he must have did something wrong. Why in the world did they split? Oh my God, maybe he wasn't the man we thought he was. Did he cheat, girl? This and that. I was happy to bear the brunt of all of that. And for years I did, until I realized how unhealthy that was.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is, it wasn't all my fault.
Right.
And I owed it to myself, not her, to start saying, I wasn't just a good husband. I was a damn good husband. Yeah. Now, I had my faults, but I was a damn good husband. And when I started accepting that part of it, that it wasn't all me, let me tell you why that's truly important. Because now it allowed me to truly be able to identify what I will take and what I won't take. And the
Mhm.
reason why I never remarried, I take marriage so seriously
Mhm.
because I've been married now. I know what that commitment is all about, the level of commitment that's necessary for me, not for nobody else, for me. And so, with that said, I never entered it again because what I want in a wife is way up here. Now, if we just kicking it, that's fine. But I know everything I'm looking for in a wife, and I know exactly what will work and what won't work. Somebody said in the beginning about a deal breaker. There's a few things that I know for me are deal breakers. And that's because I was able to identify and be honest that no, I was actually a pretty good husband. I was even a pretty good boyfriend occasionally. It was a bad boyfriend in a way, but I was a pretty good boyfriend to some. There was a couple in there that I was a pretty good boyfriend, and it wasn't all my fault. I had one chick I was dating who I thought could have been Mrs. It. She got out of an abusive relationship. I waited the appropriate amount of time, so I thought I wasn't a rebound guy. Waited 6 months. We started dating. We were dating for about 9 months. Long story short, found out that she started back talking to the beater.
Oh,
I realized in that moment she enjoyed getting her ass beat, and I didn't have it in me to choke and beat her. So you know what I'm saying. So that ain't my fault, and I wasn't going to take the blame for that.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I it's not all one person's fault, you know.
Right.
So I think you owe it to yourself to stand up and be honest and take the blame where it really was your fault. Be honest, but at the same time, if that person wasn't perfect and they did some things, acknowledge that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll
Yeah.
always be the
That's true.
villain in someone's story. So it doesn't, no matter how they
Yeah.
retell it, you'll always be the villain to somebody. So
But that's why I say it's not for them, it's for
Right.
you.
Right.
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 It's not for them, it's
Right.
for you. Sitting
Yeah.
somewhere right now. I'm sure my ex-wife is saying I don't want that fat bastard anyway, but okay.
Hey, Black, but you know what though, and to speak on what you were just saying, Tosh, you know what? At the end of the day, what they say, a hero, if they last long enough, will wind up becoming a villain.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna become a villain in somebody's eye, even if you're not.
Right.
And that's why you're not doing it for them. All the things we've talked about tonight is for your individual peace of mind and sanity. Going back to Charles' statement, Charles, you said peace, your paper, and your prosperity.
his
It's
progress. Yeah.
progress. I'm sorry. Peace, progress, even better. Peace,
Yeah.
progress, because I like that. For your
Yeah.
own individual peace of mind, your personal progress to move forward and not take the baggage, you know what I'm saying, to somebody else and deliver that to them. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
all of those are things, and prosperity. Yeah, we all, nobody wants to be sitting in the same place. So if you're trying to move ahead and I don't want to be with somebody if we're not moving forward. If we moving backwards, I don't need you anyway. So peace, progress, and prosperity. Charles, thank you for that, my brother.
The
And
three
so
P's.
and it's for
Yeah.
you, and you're doing it for yourself.
Mhm.
So with that said, I appreciated covering this topic. I had a lot of fun with it, but I hope we got something out of it too, because look, we always talk about getting together and how to get somebody. Sometimes the best thing,
Try to keep 'em.
is maybe
And
go ahead,
Yeah,
D.
go.
well, this is perfect timing, as we know Valentine's Day is coming up. So prepare for those conversations.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give any gifts, here you go.
Yeah. This is the
Perfect
perfect
You're right.
time to break up. If you're gonna
You're
break
right.
up, today
Right.
is the day
You're
to
right.
do it.
You're right. And guess what? It is a perfect time because they're coming off of that what you call it, cuffing season,
Yeah.
and it's getting ready to
Yeah.
get warm again. So
Yeah.
evaluate where you are, people, and
Mhm.
hopefully you can take 1 or 2 points away from this conversation, that when love is not enough, how to break up, how to say goodbye. Do it for your own peace of mind.
Bye.
And with that said, thank you guys. Another great show. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. I plan to be there to do another fun topic. Tasha and I will think of what we're going to do. And then I will pop in tomorrow for TFG's His and Hers Perspectives. I'm going to be examining some of those questions.
They be having some hell of a questions in that
Yes,
his
indeed.
and hers, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I will be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to do my very best to try to come on at about 7 o'clock, 7:30. But I will post it and let you guys know ahead of time. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my show. Please subscribe to TFG TV. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook.
TFG Sports Media. Come check me out on
Absolutely. Check them
YouTube.
out.
Subscribe, like, share. There's some good videos on
Absolutely.
there. Check me out on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. The best
That's
sports
right.
show talk
Yes,
show
indeed.
on social media, TV,
Yes, indeed.
at TFG
Yes,
Sports
indeed.
Media. And catch me anywhere. I'm gonna be my face gonna be somewhere. Catch me on Black Show. You catch me. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
somewhere.
TFG tonight with
Yeah,
Brent.
plug
We're
in.
Yeah.
everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
so please keep us in mind. So for Tasha, for Kenny, for Bert, and for D, enjoy the rest of your week. Love you till next
Bye.
time. Keep it real.